Hello, everyone. So my name is Marilia Ferreira. I'm associate professor from the University of São Paulo.
And I'm Carole MacDiarmid. I'm EAP Manager for Teacher Development at the University of Glasgow.
So we are here today to talk about the resources for English for academic purposes, teacher education. So our talk is organized as follows. We are going to talk about the global context of English, like English for medium as a medium of instruction, EAP, and teachers teaching English for academic purposes. The summary of the project, who originated the resources we are going to discuss today, which are the practical applications. So, which is divided in three parts: academic discourse, experiential learning, and professional development. And then we are going to have the live session with questions and answers. So as all probably are somehow experiencing, the global context involves the internationalization of higher education and the growth of EMI. So for that reason, increasing demand for EAP provision is happening and is being in the universities. And also increasing research into academic discourse and the learner needs. But to contrast with that, we have less studies on EAP teachers' needs, despite the need and the demand for these professionals. So talking about Brazilian institutions are also pursuing internationalization. And one of the main programs is Language Without Borders, which provided a very good place for EAP teachers offering courses and developing the teachers. Our project tried to, this is the title, funded by the British Council. We decided to address some types of teachers, EAP teachers, and what they needed, what were their challenges. So these are the research questions, focusing on the challenges these teachers faced and the skills, knowledge, or experience they needed. Okay. And so we chose three theoretical frameworks: teacher knowledge base from Schumann, a specialized teacher knowledge from Ferguson, and EAP teacher competency framework. So as you can see, these visuals here try to account for the perspective. So here Schumann deals with general teacher knowledge, like content knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, pedagogical content knowledge, and curricular knowledge. Ferguson was more specific, linguistic, disciplinary cultures, and epistemology. So dealing more specifically with the EAP world. And BELIEB competency framework, which will involve somehow the previous frameworks and also the concern for the course delivery, the quality assurance of these courses. So also they address issues like academic practices, students' needs, program development, professional development, which is very important for BELIEB, and course delivery, which is the core of the framework. So this study was qualitative and exploratory in nature. So we used focus groups and individual interviews to elicit the data. So we chose 4 types of provision in USP, which could give us a little bit of the range of how EAP teaching is happening in this institution. So LC stands for Language Center, which pretty much now offers academic EAP for the graduate students, EAP courses, reading, writing. Language Without Borders, which was a federal program that helped English major students, undergrads, to start their teaching career with EAP. The Laboratory Academic Literacy, which provides one-on-one tutoring sessions for writing academic texts in English. Language Education at USP, which is also a provision focusing on academic courses in English. Some courses are focused on IELTS, and a pedagogical coordinator. So we had 18 teachers, EAP teachers with different experiences, different socialization into academic English, and the pedagogical coordinator of 3 of these environments: Language Center, Language Without Borders, and USP. So in these, to elicit the data, in the interviews and focus groups, we used the visuals that you saw here, okay? These visuals, we use these visuals, and also asked questions for them, prompts, not exactly questions, in which they could talk about, and then we could elicit their impressions and their experiences with the teaching, and then with the data recorded and transcribed, we applied the framework analysis and tried to derive themes and codes. And then the findings we're going to report here are based on these themes and codes. So not surprisingly, the findings varied because of the experience of instructors. Some more experienced, some really pre-service teachers, others somehow more experienced with the LT. So also the experience with academic practices was varied. And then the type of provision. Some were one-to-one consultations, others than their other contexts were courses. The key findings about the language part, linguistic discourse genre. And here also includes the specialized AP teacher content knowledge. So they addressed a lot of issues regarding grammar. So there was focus on grammar. We could see that the students focused on grammar and lexis at word level, also on genre, and less on lexicogrammatical interface, disciplinary specific genres, or writing a social practice. So you could see that they focus more on this word sentence level rather than the bigger picture. B, in terms of knowledge of disciplines, they were very aware that they could learn from the learner, that some engagement with analysis of discourse, experience of working with the students in a discipline, but we noticed lack of information on this and how to access it. So students as a resource for them to access this disciplinary knowledge. And so on their own, they were needing more help. Challenge then of this range of disciplines that EAP teachers have to work with. And the disciplines vary a lot in terms of how they use English. The pedagogical part, they were aware and about the learner's needs, writing, speaking, grammar, used approaches to teach and to motivate students to adapt to time constraints, because this is always something teachers have to do. Challenges in finding materials and planning lessons. About how to teach. A lot of learning from their experience, personal engagement with academia. Okay, like some were graduate students and they were writing a lot for academia. Resourceful and creative instructors, but it was a challenge. And especially for Language Without Borders, who were, the undergrads, the pre-service teachers, the importance of pedagogical and the pedagogical content knowledge they had, because they were learning by doing and with a very challenging discourse. And assessment more needed about assessment, overall course design, and EAP specific skills. So you see the specificity is really a challenge. In terms of professional development, formal and informal ways to do it, networks, and observations. So if you want to know more about the other theme, which is our emerging topics, we recommend you that you go access our ebook, which is free, and you can have more information, not only on these things, but the one here that we are not going to talk about. Okay. And exactly, then I pass the floor to Carole, who is going to talk about practical applications.